Okay, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I'm your host and the only participant, Michael Pachter. We're going to take some questions today, take a question today, and we're going to keep doing this for a while. So keep them coming in. You can submit them on Twitter to me at Michael Pachter, or you can submit them to at SIFTD Games, and we're on SIFTD.net. If you're watching on SIFTD.net because you're a Patreon patron, thank you so much for your patronage. If you're watching on Twitch as a Twitch Prime member, that's free and you're getting it on time. If you're watching it on YouTube a week late, then that's because you're not paying anything. But obviously you can subscribe on YouTube, you can subscribe through Patreon, or you can pay nothing and link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. So try to do one of those things if you can afford it, or if your Prime member is free, and you'll get this content pretty soon thereafter. Today's question from Twitter from at Andy T. Monahan. Given the news of Stadia's pending demise, that news started like the day Stadia was announced, where did Google, which has more resources and wealth at its disposal, go wrong with the service versus Game Pass or PlayStation Now? Now that Stadia appears to be shutting down and we haven't heard much in the way of success regarding Amazon Luna or GeForce Now, are you still bullish on game streaming? Yeah, look, they're all bad ideas, including Game Pass. But Microsoft put the resources behind content. So Microsoft, first of all, decided to put first-party content day and date on Game Pass, and PlayStation Now doesn't do that. So meaning you don't have to buy Halo, you don't have to buy Forza, you don't have to buy Gears. So that's a big deal. Google doesn't have any games. They have nothing to do that with. Second thing is Microsoft went out and signed a pretty expensive deal with EA to get 1-year-old and older EA games on the Game Pass service. So they're paying up, and that's not profitable for Microsoft to just drive subscription. Third, they went out and bought, I think, 6 independent studios. So we know Obsidian, and we know Ninja Theory, and we know, I don't remember, In Exile, and I can't name them all. But they bought a bunch. Then they went out and spent billions to buy Bethesda, which gave them a ton of content. And then the coup de grace, they spent $70 billion, or they're going to spend $70 billion to buy Activision. So Microsoft recognized from the first minute that no one was going to subscribe to Game Pass unless they got more than $10 a month worth of value out of it. And I never explained that. Game Pass costs $15, but the $15 includes Xbox Live, and Xbox Live is $5. So the incremental cost of Game Pass is $10 a month. So they figured they have to, justify that $10 a month, and they better give you a lot of content, and they went out and got it. Google, on the other hand, said, we're going to launch Stadia, and you're going to pay us just for the concept that if some game that you want to play is available and you want to pay for it, you'll pay us just to deliver it to you. That's just dumb. Sorry. I know that you'll say, well, that's what I do with my cable subscription, but not really. Your cable subscription actually has a core package and you get a bunch of content. You do pay for your phone that way. Like a stripped down phone subscription is $30 a month or something, whether you turn your phone on ever. So sure, you do pay for it. But Google thinks you're going to pay them $15 a month just to have the ability to stream games. And then if you want to play a game like Assassin's Creed, you're going to pay $60 more. Dumb idea. Really a stupid business model. And I don't think it's fair to disrespect Phil Harrison, because I don't think this is Phil Harrison's business model. I think Phil came in to run this service and to figure out how to get people to subscribe, but I think he was told, this is how we're going to charge, $15 a month. Figure it out. So what did Phil do? He went out and he hired Jade Raymond, and he said, we're going to make a bunch of games, and we're going to spend tens of millions of dollars making games. Good idea. What happened later? Some higher up at Google said, too expensive, taking too long, let's jettison the game development operation. So they fired everybody. You can't have a streaming subscription service without content. Sorry, dumb. That's like subscribing to a phone service and all you get is a dial tone. No fun. You wouldn't do it. So where did they go wrong? They didn't lead with content. Where did Microsoft go right? They led with content. Luna, the jury's out. Like, Luna doesn't really have a business model yet. I don't know that they actually launched it. I think it's been in beta since it was announced. My guess is that Luna is going to end up being a free service, and that Amazon is going to say, if you buy Call of Duty from us, you can play it on Luna. You don't have to have a console. You just stream it to your TV and it'll work. That would be a pretty compelling proposition, and you don't have to pay us anything. All you have to do is say, Alexa, buy Call of Duty, and it will happen. So I expect that that's gonna work. GeForce Now is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. It reminds me of the N-Gage. It's just stupid. Forget it. No one's going to do it. NVIDIA has no edge on games. Amazon arguably doesn't either, but they're really good in cloud. Google for sure has no advantage. They're not even really good in cloud. So this is a one-horse race. Microsoft has won. Asking me why the other major guys don't compete with Microsoft is like asking how I think Google Plus is going to do against Facebook. Now, obviously, that happened several years ago. The answer is it's going to fail miserably. And we have Google Plus's really poor performance as a guide to how the people who run Google just aren't very smart. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek. They probably have an average IQ of 180. They're super smart, but they're too smart for their own good. They jump into things that they don't really understand, and gaming is something that they don't understand. So then they hire Phil Harrison to run it, and he does understand it, and they don't let him do what he needs to do. I think that a good example of following that dumb playbook is Netflix, who hires Mike Verdu, who's a really smart, good game guy, and then not giving him the resources to do what he wants to do. So their first acquisition is some crappy little mobile game company that nobody's ever heard of. And the problem with Netflix's vision, which is a complete lack of vision, and their strategy, which is a complete absence of a strategy, is Netflix decided they want to be in mobile. And as you know, there are hundreds of thousands of mobile games, all free to play. And they want to give you a free to play game that is available on your phone for no cost, free, as part of your Netflix subscription. Because, yeah, it's too hard to find the game on my phone by typing in the name of the game and go on the App Store. Easier to go to Netflix and use their brilliant interface so I can figure out which game I want to play on my TV. Dumb. It'll never work. Hire a good game person and then give them the resources to do what they need to do and let them run the strategy. That is the poster advertisement for Microsoft. Satya Nadella has no idea what a game is. My guess is, listening to him talk, he's never played a game in his life. He's got Phil Spencer, who has played all the games. Phil is a gamer. He's a game guy. He grew up in the game ecosystem. I've heard stories of Phil back when he was, back working at Microsoft in the 90s before Xbox, getting in trouble because he was always playing games during conference calls and stuff on his laptop. He is a gamer's gamer. He is really good and hired really good people. He has a vision. They know what they're doing. Google has money and no sense. They have dollars and no sense, as they say, and no idea what they're doing. Amazon in between. They have some good people and they'll figure it out, I think. I don't think Google's going to figure it out ever. So, see ya, Stadia. Oh, am I still bullish on game streaming? Yeah, one winner. Game Pass is going to be the Facebook of game streaming. And by the way, the reason Netflix didn't win the streaming wars, they're going to be in first for a long time, but the reason they didn't become the only streaming service is they didn't have the content. And, so Disney and Fox are on Disney Plus, and NBC Universal content is on Peacock, and CBS Viacom content, Paramount, is on Paramount Plus, and all the rest is on Amazon and Hulu. Netflix just can't compete for the content that they need to be a standalone sole survivor. They have enough content to thrive, and they will, but they didn't move quickly enough to keep all the other guys out, and all the other content creators are the ones who compete with them. Google is not a game content creator. Amazon is barely a game content creator. Sony is. So Sony, of all, maybe has a chance, but Microsoft's got a pretty insurmountable lead and a lot more money than Sony. So Google, no chance, 0.0% chance. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor. I gave you a long answer. Hope to see you next time, but between now and the next Pachter Factor, sign up, on Patreon as a patron, or link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, please. That's free. Or subscribe to us on YouTube, or none of the above. Get this stuff a week late. Follow me on Twitter @Michael Pachter. I'll see you next time.